All right, I'm ready to go if you are, Paula.
I think that we need to warn listeners that things are changing around here. Things are about to change around here.
Change that is a coming.
Change, it is a coming. I hope you are all sitting down because Josh is now a coffee boy. So if you thought that things were just going to stay the same around here in 2021, I bet you were not expecting Josh to have twice as much caffeine.
I've had it twice in the year as opposed to once. Yeah. Get ready for worse gut health, folks.
Ooh, la la.
Putting that funny juice in my tum-tum.
You'll get used to it. Your body might, now I say this as like somebody who drinks so much coffee. Your body might reject it at first, but you got to keep shoving it down in there. You know what I mean? No matter how much your body and your nervous system say, please, please, please stop, you have to keep shoving that coffee down in there. You got to keep saying, who's boss around here? I'm boss around here. That's my kind of pro tip on becoming a coffee connoisseur.
That sounds very healthy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
If you don't show your body who's boss, then who is?
Yeah, it's like that whole like you gotta like the first day in prison, you gotta punch the biggest guy that you can see. Yeah. It's like first day drinking coffee, you can't poop. You're not allowed to. You gotta show that coffee who's boss.
First day drinking coffee, you gotta take a funnel. You gotta pour one of those like comically large, the camping ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the thermos, like the full like grain silo of coffee.
Which I used to drink one of those a day in college. We don't need to talk about it. You gotta pour that down a funnel into your mouth. Like
beer bong it.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know.
It has to be hot.
Hot. Yeah.
Josh, what changed? What changed in you? You've changed.
Yeah. Do we need to reevaluate our friendship?
Wait, if you're the coffee one.
Yeah.
Then I've got to learn stuff.
Yeah. Did I do a cappella?
Wait, hold on a second.
I don't know. I'm just tired. I don't know. It's one of my resolutions is to be kinder to myself this year. And I really like the ritual of coffee. I've been trying to not get addicted to it, but I love the smell of coffee. I love the taste of coffee. I love the ritual of like making coffee. And it's absolutely gross outside right now. It's doing that like flurrying, but not going to be beautiful snow thing here in Chicago. And I'm a little tired. I needed a little bit of a bump. And I just thought this would be nice for myself.
Do you like it?
I do like it.
How do you drink your coffee?
I put a tiny bit of non-dairy milk in there because if I put dairy milk, it would be a disaster.
Yeah.
But just the tiniest bit of milk in there. But I sometimes have it black too.
All right.
Yeah. For everyone out there who's eventually going to bring us coffees, this is how our order is.
For our future interns, I really expected you to be like, I take it like a regular adult. I expected you to be like, I take it so tough. 14 scoops of sugar.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like I'm a 12-year-old going to Starbucks for the first time.
That is what I expected.
Yeah.
You know, I used to take my coffee. I'm holding up a cup right now, but I used to take my coffee with probably a third creamer, like the French vanilla creamer, and then 3 sweet and lows. And then one time when I was an intern in DC, as a young person, probably 20, I had an informational interview with the editor of AARP magazine. And we went to the AARP cafeteria. And he's like, let's get coffee. And I was like, okay. And then he's like, how do you take it? And I started to tell him and he goes, no, journalists always take it black. And I love him. Because like, I mean, he is a journalist. Like he runs AARP magazine, but he said it like we were freaking like uncovering. We were all the president's menning.
Yeah. Like I'm taking you under my wing, Toots.
Yeah. He's like, we're reporters around here. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. I know you're new to this beat, but welcome to Being Earnest, a very sincere podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Paula.
And we're here to talk about the sincere and earnest news of the day. A serious journalist.
Happening in Europe, right? Wait, can we play a game really fast?
Yeah, sure. Before we get to the topic.
Use your most reporter anchorman voice. Tell me what you had for dinner last night in your most anchorman voice.
Okay. Quick question. Which anchorman? Is it like modern anchorman or is it like old-timey anchorman?
They're putting you live, but they use a completely different voice, and it's still a variation of the transatlantic accent that they use.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
That's the thing about it. They use that voice so no one can identify where they're from.
Ooh.
So stalkers. Just kidding. It's supposed to be so it's like very easy to understand.
Yeah. Okay. Standard English dialect.
Good.
Okay. This just in. Last night, local man Josh Linden had some leftovers from Essence of India that he had ordered a few days before. Mr. Linden noted that sometimes he spends more on delivery food or pickup food because it will last more than one meal.
Wonderful. It like dropped like 2 octaves.
Yeah, it did. It's that, or it's like just hot off the presses.
No, that's like World War I, and you're like,
yeah, like, the boys at war made sure that at the home front we've got our Indian food.
Betty Grable stopped by.
Yeah, right, exactly. But yeah,
look at those yams.
Yeah, yeah, because it's also sexist.
Yeah.
When it's that too. All right,
Hope she can never hold a job.
Yeah,
she should be paid. She should be paid less than Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah, right, exactly.
They were not.
Paula, okay, your turn.
Oh, okay.
Tell me the same thing. Tell me what you had for dinner in your best reporter voice.
Okay. Hello, Josh. Thank you for answering, and I'm going to go ahead and take that over here. Now, to celebrate the series finale of The Sopranos, we did make baked ziti. It turned out pretty good. Thank you, and back to you, Josh.
I like that you're celebrating the series finale of the Sopranos on your schedule of like that's a major event that like everyone was having the series finale. But did you finish The Sopranos last night?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I've been really this is my earnest advice of the week. I've been really into 2-person parties lately, like just me and David. So we threw a Sopranos party again, just me and him. I'll post a picture. I may have made him dress up, and we were like, oh, we should dress up like Tony and Carmela. And then he got like the Tony stuff. And then I was like, no, I want to be Polly Walnuts. So then we both dressed up like early 2000s mafia guys. And we went to the Italian grocery store.
Ooh.
In Little Italy. Yeah, we made a little ziti.
That's amazing. Congratulations. That sounds so fun.
Thank you so much for that. Congratulations. And pro tip, this is going to come out on Wednesday to celebrate the inauguration. We're doing an ice cream sundae party because Joe Biden's favorite food is ice cream.
Yes.
So if you want to play along at home, it's pretty easy.
Yeah. Paula will be live streaming all day.
You can figure it out.
Yeah. What's our topic this week, Paula?
I don't remember. Coffee?
Doodles, right?
Yo, yes. Our topic is doodles. Doodling.
Either one.
Whatever you're looking for.
A verb and a noun. Get you a word that can do both.
Josh, are you a doodler? Like the drawing kind. We should say, because I feel like it's one of those words out of context. People are like, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah.
Drawing.
Yeah,
Drawings.
It also sounds vaguely sexual because it's one vowel away from diddling.
Can you imagine? Now, this is going to take me editing, and this is my week to edit, and I'm not going to be able to do this. But can you imagine if we were just like, this week's topic is beep, 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 beep. It was just like a filthy episode.
Yeah, just like touching yourself.
Every other week, we're like, pets.
Yeah.
Snowman. And this week, we're like,
deep kinks.
It's that thing where you.
Yeah, so I am a doodler because even through college I took notes on like in a notebook with pen and paper because I just like I can write faster than I can type. I'm not a very good typist. And so it just keeps me from being distracted but obviously I was distracting myself also with doodles. So I did a lot of like margin doodling. I'd also, if it was like boring in a lecture, I'd like doodle what they were talking about, which actually was a pretty good memory tool.
I really did not picture you being okay, here's what I picture. I picture you like, yeah, I'm a pretty wacky doodler. And then we'd see your notes and like they would be perfectly organized. Like you would change the font of your writing for like different sections. And then over in the side, 1/2 a centimeter by 1/2 a centimeter is like one of those little 3D boxes everyone drew.
I mean, yeah. So it was more like that. I had a whole system with my note taking of like, I essentially had header types. Like there was a style sheet to my.
When I call it, I call it.
Yeah. But yeah, it is fun. I feel like there were certain doodles. Like I knew how far I could doodle. You know what I mean? Like there are definitely people who are far more artistic than I am, and I'd be like, wow, these are the doodles that you do. Versus I was like very much like doodling 101, like.
And you were paying attention.
And I was paying attention. Yeah. How about you?
What do you think I was?
I think that you were notes for about like a third of the page, like very, very detailed. And then after that, it devolved into mostly doodles. And then you could see where you realized you needed to listen again. And it would pop back up. And then it would be like I think you were doodles, like not just 3D boxes. I think it was like you doodled like stuff that had to do with places you wanted to go. I also think that at a certain point in time, you maybe there was a lot of signature work, like figuring out what your signature would look like.
Yeah, that's just exactly accurate. Better than I could describe it. There definitely was a like, I'm really good today in class. With attention issues. I was like, I'm really gonna do good. And then my brain was just like, and then the cat has a little hat. And then at the end I was like, oh, there's gonna be a test. So much signature work.
Yeah.
You practice your signature?
I did practice my signature. Oh, yeah. And then I signed some of my assignments in 8th grade until a social studies teacher was like, this is not the time to practice your signature. And it cut me to the core.
Wow, that's mean.
It was really mean.
It is the time to practice your signature.
Yeah. I probably should bleep that, but was.
Let it ride.
Yeah, it was he was an odd duck. He and his life partner, not wife, life partner, had adjoining classrooms, also a teacher. And sometimes they clearly get into arguments that had nothing to do with us while we were all in class. And it was not ideal.
As they say in my Duolingo French, le scandale. Actually, I don't know how you say it. Were they always together? Did they get together?
Yeah, so they had definitely been together for a while when I had them as teachers. And it was definitely like, they were definitely like products of the 70s. Like definitely it was like a flower children kind of like, we're life partners, but we don't put labels on it kind of situation.
A real college professor having an affair vibe.
Yeah, totally. But they were social studies and English teachers in RJ Gray. The word is not middle school. What were we in? High? Junior high. That was the word for it. Miss Coffee isn't working.
No. The point of coffee is not to make you think better. It is to make you think faster.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And constant.
Yeah, constantly. Even when you need to stop thinking. It was in retrospect, probably inappropriate.
I love that they said, we're professionals. Should we leave our problems at home? And they said, no. Bring them into the classroom.
Yeah, and they would like get really. There was one time where Miss Vaca like got really, really like salty at all of us because she was talking about getting groceries, and then was like, "I have to go to Stop and Shop, unlike you kids who can go to these fancy grocery stores in this town." And we're like, "Don't take out like it's not like we don't have incomes. We're children."
Wow. These people had issues.
Yeah. It was just very clear that they had issues, and they had And they had conjoining classrooms. It was a lot.
It's like it's always one of two ways when two teachers are dating or married or life partners or whatever. It's like they've either been together forever and it's perfect and it's really cute, or it's like they're bringing the tea to the house.
Yeah, it felt very much like it was an off again, on again thing that they'd both, like a mutually assured destruction kind of situation.
Yeah, I love that. A real Mr. and Mrs. Smith vibe.
Oh, they were not spies. I feel like there was like different levels of doodling. Like there's a Mount Rushmore of doodles that you would put in the side of your notes, right?
100%. For those who don't know, Mount Rushmore is the top 4. It is the 4 faces. If instead of old presidents, they were something else.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you like this, then you might like our game, No Wrong Answers.
Native advertising.
There's some of those cards in there that are your own Mount Rushmore. Play along at home.
NoWrongAnswersGame.com.
Also available at Four-Sided.
Yeah, here in Chicago. I think you can't do it without doing the like S thing.
The Superman S. If you knew a younger person in the 2000s, you know this S. It's like the three lines all attached Superman S.
Yeah, exactly. And it's almost like it's like it's 2 diamonds on top of each other with lines in the center, but like this S was being able to write this S was such social currency.
1 second. Yes. It was such a cool S to draw. No, I always felt a little fancy as somebody with multiple S's in my last name.
Oh, wow.
So I was going, Paula, super S.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. I've never really thought about bringing the doodles into my name.
You got to incorporate those doodles into everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
You know? What I liked about the crazy S was it really had no rhyme or reason. We were all just like, hell yeah.
Yeah. Just like, here's a cool thing that looks cool.
Peace.
It's like vaguely skater-ish.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw out some more common doodles real fast, and we can rank them from there, put them on the mountain. I feel like I never learned how to make a heart correctly, but it is an important doodle. Yeah. The hearts always look like very weird and lopsided, whereas other people, it feels like they've put in their 10,000 hours how to draw a heart.
100%.
Also, I loved that, like, I don't know if it's not a tessellation. That's not the right word for it. That's like a repeating pattern.
I don't know what that is.
You know, the thing where you draw a grid and then you take like the highest point on one of them on the like y-axis, and then you put it to the lowest point on this axis, and it would make like almost like a cat's cradle kind of pattern across it. No. I do that all the time. I did that all the time.
Okay, that sounds really complicated and hard. That could be like on the back of that could be on one of the informational like plaques by the
honorable mention. Yeah, it was just that like straight lines make it look like it's curved.
No idea. That is for people who really like information. You know what I mean? Like those are the people who would get a kick out of it. It's like not on the mountain for like us mainstream folk, but like if you love to learn, that's on the flag. I'm picturing definitely hearts, definitely little flowers, little flower, and a little house that's the perfect square with the triangle on top. Little steam coming out, little smoke coming out of the chimney.
I know that we've talked about your love of all things surf, palm trees, things like that.
If you are new to listening, for so long, in middle school, I drew my name, P-A-U. I put little sunglasses over the U, and then I turned the L into a palm tree, and then A, and I would sign that on legal documents. Like, until my dad was like, please don't do that.
Now, that brings us to another category here, where it's like practicing your signature, but also, do people actually write the like when you have a crush, like making your name into their name? Like, is that a thing that actually happens, or just a thing that pop culture has told us has happened, or something that hasn't happened since 1960?
I think that's a very 1960 thing. You know, Definitely like, now there was a game. Now this is really getting into it. There was a game where you write your first name and you write their first name, and then you cross out all the letters that are in common. And then you have to go down and you have to go, it's hate, like, love, marriage, then cross out. Then hate, like, love, marriage, then cross out. And then whatever it lands on, like once you have them all crossed out, whatever the last one is, I don't exactly remember, but I remember that was like a big thing.
Yeah, I remember there being a lot of like crush-based multi-step, essentially like numerology games.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this one has 6 letters and 6 letters means this thing.
It's like a very ancient arts.
Yeah, like
the
fortune
ancient,
telling.
like,
yeah,
fortune telling. Welcome to my tent with.
Yeah, it's very like there's only been 6 elements.
Yeah, yeah. We definitely got very complicated. I mean, I don't think MASH is a variation of a doodle, but MASH was also very common.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
Pay attention.
MASH. That falls into more like the like cootie catcher kind of realm of things.
I loved cootie catchers. Yeah.
I feel like our generation is very good with like fine, like tactile movement because of cootie catcher, like hand motions.
We should all be on the bomb squad.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Wait. Okay. So we need to get back to this Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
So we have the S. We have the Superman S.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to pick between a heart and a flower.
Yeah, and I think it's a heart. At the end of the day, it's a heart.
Okay. But know that the flower is in the same breath.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
You know? Now I do think the 3D cube needs to be on there.
Yeah, because everyone needed to, because it was like, how do you do it? There were other ones where it was like, where it was like, do you do it from 2 squares? Do you do it from, there were a lot of different methods to do it. And it felt like every time someone showed you a new method, your eyes were open to a new reality.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I've never seen The Matrix, but I do think that's what The Matrix is about.
Oh yeah, that's basically it.
And I am putting this out there. I might be wrong, but I'm wondering if the 4th one is simply name-based doodles.
Yeah. I was thinking it was name-based doodles, or it's something where you're practicing never having to lift up your pen or pencil from the, like, you do it all in one motion. Like the house that you can draw with only one, or just being able to like draw a star without doing that. But I also like the name-based one.
I think that if you were into the doodle where you don't pick up your pen, you were into it.
Yes.
But I think not everyone was into it.
Yeah, I think everyone practiced their name.
We're talking Mount Rushmore. We're not talking like, I know you love like Andrew Jackson. Like, we're not talking like.
For the record, I don't love Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson, outside of Trump, is maybe the worst president.
But we're not talking like a head who did like one thing that some people like. It's like, these are the mainstream heads.
Sure.
And I think a name-based, whether that is practicing your own signature or your crush's name, I think that's going to be one of the 4.
Right. It's the reason why Teddy Roosevelt isn't there.
I know that you are sitting here going, but I loved Andrew Jackson's policies.
No. Oh, God. Oh, I don't like this rumor. I don't like we're going to eventually, this podcast is really going to take off, and then they're going to take this out of context, and they're going to be like, Josh Linden loves Andrew Jackson.
Now, did you say there's a reason that FDR is not on there? Is that what you just said?
I said there's a reason why. No, I said there's a reason why Teddy Roosevelt isn't on there.
Teddy Roosevelt is on there.
Is he? No, is he?
Yes.
Okay, well then, fuck me then.
I was gonna see. I thought I had you. Well, it's Washington, Jefferson, Teddy, and Abe.
It is weird that
4 hottest presidents.
It is weird that Teddy Roosevelt is on there. I'm going to be honest. It seems like he's on there because he decided to make it.
No, it was after him. Yeah, it was like 1927 is when it started. we're really going to get into the weeds now.
Yeah.
I think Jefferson wasn't useful enough to be on there.
I think we could do a whole like Mount Rushmore episode. Okay.
What did he ever do? Learn French and have red hair?
Yeah. Apparently he was hot. Doesn't.
Okay, that's what he tells us.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I like the idea of knowing that you're a part of history and being like, and I was hot.
Also, put it in there. I was a smoke show.
Yeah. 10 out of 10. Dime piece.
That's the nice thing about like when it was just portraits. Like you could be like, hey, I know it's a portrait. Make me smoke it.
Yeah. I know I don't have a nose. Give me a nose. I feel like doodling ended up being just a thing to do with your hands. You know what I mean? Like it came from just like not knowing to do with your hands. And I feel like in a lot of situations, I have no idea what to do with my hands. There should be a class on what to do with your hands in various situations.
Yeah, they are. I think hands are one of those things. If you start thinking about them too much, they are just incredibly awkward.
Yeah. Well, because it's like hands are arguably, besides like the ability to process and understand that we have our own thoughts and feelings and that our inner monologue is us, hands are what make us human.
Yeah.
Like,
no, lots of things have hands. Raccoons.
Well, they have like semi-opposable thumbs, things like that. But like,
such useful little hands to wash themselves.
But like, I don't know. It's just like it's such a second nature thing.
Yeah.
Like that with hands, and then you're like, they're so useful for so many situations. Yet there are certain situations where like I have no idea what to do with these. It's like having something that's way too useful in a situation where they're like over equipped or completely unequipped for that situation.
Yes. And I think that hands are one of those things that's like breathing. Like if you are just operating with them, not thinking about them, not thinking about breathing, not thinking about hands, they're great.
Mm-hmm.
So useful, both. But once you start thinking really hard about like breathing, then you have to like suddenly start reminding yourself to breathe. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, 100%.
Like right now I'm thinking about breathing too much. And so I'm like, and in and out, just be normal. Josh will never know that you have to think about this.
I hope that this is a universal human emotion and not just an anxious people emotion.
It is also our listeners who I love so much, but I think we're all a little bit on the anxiety train.
Yeah, where you're like sitting in bed and you're just like, it's time to go to sleep and I'm going to take some deep breaths and that's going to calm me down. And wow, I do this all day. I breathe. Oh my God, what if I don't? We have to breathe out.
Think about it. I am forgetting.
Yeah, right, exactly. Another to-do list.
Would it be helpful if we went over some situations where you don't know what to do with your hands and we came up with we'll just say like a cool, chill, universal thing you can do?
Yes. Yes. I think that's a great idea. This can be our gift to our listeners for 2021.
Yeah.
So I will say this is a classic. This old chestnut, but like, what the hell do you do with your hands in a solo photo? Like when you're the only, and your hands are going to be in it. It's not like shoulders up, portrait mode situation. It's like, I'm standing at a beautiful landscape or historical site. What do I do with my hands?
Okay, my gut instinct is the okie dokie hand sign. Like the okie dokie, like hand thing.
Yeah. Like just making an okay.
You can't see us. The okay hand sign.
The okay hand sign. Just don't do it upside down.
Is that bad?
Yeah, it's a white nationalist thing.
Holy shit. They ruin everything.
Yeah.
They ruin all of it.
Yeah.
I just want to do the okie dokie hand thing. Why do white nationalists need that? Do you know what you have? You don't need a hand thing. You have little red hats.
Yeah.
What else do you need?
Yeah.
Your racism is so visible.
Yeah.
Right. You don't need anything else. We can tell.
Yeah, exactly. You also, yeah, exactly. You're not even wearing hoods anymore.
Yeah. Come on. It's so easy. God, I hate them. They also ruined New Balance tennis shoes.
Yeah, as a person from Boston, where New Balance is based, and we used to go to because my dad and my brother have feet that don't make sense, and they're like not very big but very wide. The only shoes they can wear is New Balance. I don't want my very liberal, wonderful brother and dad to be lumped into a situation where they wear New Balance shoes and people think they're white nationalists.
Well, I think we took we didn't take white nationalists back. I think we took New Balance back.
I hopefully.
I think New Balance was like, what?
Yeah.
They were like, what are you talking about? No.
Yeah.
But it's like they can't just be like, this is ours and ruin it for all of us.
Yeah.
I had a great red hat from a friend that her father was really into regattas, like a little sailboat. A little family was really into sailboats. And they gave me a hat, and it was a great hat. And then all of a sudden, now that hat is garbage.
Yeah, I have a dope red hat that just says USA on it from like a vintage, like
that's garbage now.
Baseball tour. I can't wear this hat.
I cannot wear that hat.
I can't wear that hat. I maybe can wear that hat when I'm like 70.
That hat, no. I have a feeling it's going to be like, one of those things that everyone's like,
yeah, like you can't wear armbands anymore.
Yeah, like you have a red hat that says USA on it. That feels like you misplaced your Make America Great Again hat.
Yeah, it does feel like I probably need to get rid of that hat.
Oh, this one says USA.
Like, yeah. The fact that I have to explain it probably means that it's bad. And
you know what else? For a while, people were really into the parodies of those hats.
Which is stupid. It just gives it more visibility.
You don't take time to read people's hats. You see that and you go, I'm crossing the other side of the street.
Right, exactly.
Stop taking, or here's what it is. All of us normal people, all of us who are not white nationalist assholes, here's what's going to happen. We're going to get together. We're going to do a huge Zoom. And we're going to decide what we don't like anymore. And we're going to say, now you guys can have that. You can't have our New Balance tennis shoes. You can't have the okie dokie hand symbol. You don't get that. But you guys can have you can take t-shirts that have like a giant mustache on it and say, I must mustache you a question.
Yes. Yeah.
Like those kind of like pun shirts. We're done with those. You can have those now.
Yeah. Any commemorative shirt that isn't going to be cool when you find it in your dad's closet when you turn like 22.
Yeah. Like you all can have, you can have our garbage.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, let me be clear. I don't want them to have anything.
Yeah.
I don't want them to have anything. I want to punch them in the mouth. I'm not a violent person, but like, fuck those guys.
Yeah.
But if they insist on having stuff, we get to decide what they have, and it gets to be stuff we're done with. Stuff we don't like. Worms.
How do we feel about hands in pockets?
Sorry, I'm real fired up sometimes. Do you see I have started this really cute, fun, adorable, cute, so fun, so cute hobby of the second I wake up, breaking open my breaking news alerts, because somehow I've signed up for extra ones from the New York Times. So you get breaking news alerts. And for some reason, I have signed up somehow for live updates.
Ah, I see.
And then as soon as I wake up, I scan those. Then I say to myself, it's time for more news. So then I do that.
Uh-huh.
And then I say, we should listen to the daily podcast. So then we listen to that. So then just the whole day, our guts are on fire.
Sure.
But let's get back to it. So the okie dokie hand symbol is ruined.
Yeah.
Even though it's an adorable hand symbol.
But the thing is, the other thing is if you do that and with the okie dokie symbol, but if you like pinch the fingers instead of circling the fingers, it does look like you're like, this is a spicy historical spot.
What if you're still smiling, shoulders back, feet shoulder width apart, let's get that good stance. And your hands are just that of a cartoon Italian chef.
Yes, exactly.
You're just like spicy meatball. You can do the like,
Yeah.
Like kiss the tips of your fingers. For early listeners, ganochi gaspochi. Like,
That can't be how it's pronounced. Yeah. Or I also like the peace signs. See,
cool teen.
Mm-hmm. Cool teen. It is a little bit weird for me as a white dude because it makes me look like a weeb. Which is like white guys who are obsessed with Asian culture. If I do the peace symbols.
Yeah. That's why I think we need to land on nice pose. You're by yourself in a photo. Now go ahead and use those hands to be Chef Boyardee. Whatever that means to you.
Yes, exactly. Chef Boyardee do's and Chef Boyardee don'ts.
Yes. I like that. I think we can move on.
Yeah. I will say that I do like the idea of, how it feels like portraiture was so posed in the past. You know how you like find photos of your parents like lying down on the ground with like one hand against their fist and they're like,
cannot imagine finding a photo of my dad lying on the ground, one hand below, looking dreamily in a field.
But I do kind of like the idea of a universal set of poses that you can learn and then choose which ones work for you. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, what about okay, you are at a meal with, let's say, polite company.
Sure.
It's not a good friend. It's not a family. It could be a first date where you really want to impress them. It's like a first date with like, I don't know, a Baldwin or something. Or it's with like a new boss.
Yeah. It's like, or it's your significant other's boss.
Oh, yeah. It's somebody that you need to impress.
Yes, exactly. Someone that you care what they think about you. Yeah.
Yes. And you're not comfortable with them yet.
Yes.
And so it is what to do with your hands before the food has arrived.
Yeah. Oh, man, I hate this.
Your phone. Because I think looking at your phone has become like, we're addicted to our phones, but also there is something like, it's like, okay, here's a hot take. It's the 21st century cigarette, right? Like it's like something to do with your hands.
It's not yeah, and it is addicting in a different kind of way. I don't think it's necessarily giving us lung cancer, but yes, I do think that's true.
Okay, so one option here is pull out a cigarette.
Yeah, right. Indoors, smoke it in this bar.
Start vaping.
Yeah. Just blow some hot, mad cotton in their face.
Be like, y'all like the scent of melon?
Yeah. Yeah, I like mint, but I like malt more. I've had this experience where I've like been on first dates and I'm like, I've got two poses. One is the like, I'm leaning in and listening.
Yeah.
And my hands are kind of like either I have my hand is resting. I'm resting my face on my hands, or like my hands are like not steeple fingers, but like they're clutched together, sitting there on the table, and I'm like I'm actively listening and smiling. Or it's the lean back and like okay, my hands are on my lap, and I'm like listening and I'm smiling and I know it's like not going very well as a date when I'm thinking about that in that moment.
Yes. Also, I want to give a side note to the listeners who I know love to picture us while they talk. Right? Yeah. When you listen to a podcast, you're just sitting there quietly saying, "I wonder what they look like."
Yeah, and it's always really hot. You know what I mean?
Always so hot. Josh is wearing exactly what you expect him to wear, which is a Sundance crew neck sweatshirt. So he is exactly what you were picturing him wearing.
Yeah. Oh, that's in an indirect way, you're saying I'm hot.
It is a shirt that I didn't know you had, but I could have guessed you had. And I was right. It's a very cool sweatshirt.
Thank you.
I love it. It was very funny, like seeing you lean back. I was like, yes.
Expectations met.
I just meant, I feel
it's on brand.
I feel like it is so on brand that I didn't know you had it. And yet seeing it, I was like,
everything's right in the world.
There's Josh's Sundance sweatshirt.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. It's like I come out here wearing a sweatshirt that says Cracker Jackson kicking ass or something. I don't know.
No, yeah, it's
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, that would be. We can make that.
That's how I think of myself.
Maybe that's worth making.
Okay. But yes, but also I think you hit on a really important point, which is there is such a difference between it's going well. So you're like, I'm listening. We're having a conversation. Like, so my focus on my hands needs to be demonstrate that I'm listening, but I'm going to take us out because if that's happening, it's going well.
Yeah.
There's silence. There's silence and you have nothing to talk to them about. Like you've hit on the weather. You've hit on whatever news is okay to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've said like the Cubs are really doing it this year or whatever. Now what? There's nothing to do but wait and pray for the food to be in your mouth. So now that's your excuse for not talking.
Yeah.
You know what I would like to break out? What I would like to normalize for this situation? You just go. Now we're sitting here, okay? So you and I are two strangers at dinner. You're not someone who knows everything about my life.
Yeah, sure.
We're sitting here. It's awkward. Awkward. We're at Chili's. Dead silence. We run out of shit to talk about. I am your boss.
Makes sense.
In this situation, you're my boss. That also makes more sense.
I think you're my boss. I don't think we need to normalize.
Okay, so we're in this situation, like whatever it is, it is very uncomfortable. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're sitting here very silent. Here's what you do. This is going to blow their mind. You ready? You go. Take a big sip of water and you go, check this shit out. Then you start patting your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time. And you do that unsmiling for 30 seconds. 30 seconds is a long time.
It's a really long time to do that.
And you do not break eye contact. You do not smile. You do not go, eh? Like you just say, you take the sip of water. You say, check this shit out. And then you go for it.
You know, can I build on this idea, kind of do a yes and?
Absolutely. It's ours.
I love the idea that it's take a sip of water, check this shit out, and then you show them a trick of some kind. So it could be that, it could be
patting your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time, which I know the visual, but you've all seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. It could also be you dip your finger in the water glass and you start playing the glass. You know what I mean? Like you go around the rim there and you're playing it like it's like Miss Congeniality or whatever it is.
Oh, now I would also, that is such a good point. It's just like a trick. And I also want to say it doesn't have to be a good trick.
No.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be something that's impressive or cool. I think it's just like you're in this situation. You obviously do not have the power. This is how you're taking the power back.
Yeah.
You're saying always take a sip of your water. Because there's something so dramatic about you taking the sip of water and then saying, check this shit out. You can just stick your entire fist in their glass of water. Like you could say, check this shit out. Plunge your fist into their drinking glass of iced tea. Stare at them for 30 seconds unsmiling. When you take it out, you will have conversation after.
Yeah, exactly. You're just trying to make something happen. You're just trying to get something to stimulate the conversation. It could be like,
right.
Check this shit out. Hey ho, the rattling bug in the valley. Like sing only camp songs.
But again, eye contact, no smiling, 30 plus seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you could go, check this shit out. Then you pick up the bread basket and you just start throwing the bread against the wall. Not at anybody. You're not trying to make a mess. You're just hurling them at the wall.
And every time you throw them, you're like, yeah, strike.
But as you're hurling them, eye contact.
Yeah, exactly. Or you're just like, check this shit out. What are you doing, Kramer?
Like a fairly good,
like an impression of someone doing an impression of Jerry Seinfeld. What
I do like about it, and I know we invented this situation, and you know, laughing at our own joke here. But what I love about the sip of the water and the eye contact combination and the check this shit out is you make it seem to them like you walked in there with a plan. Like you walked in there being like, I'm going to come in there, I'm going to shake their hand, and I'm going to show them what I'm made of.
Yeah, I love the idea of this happening like, I don't know, 15 minutes into the conversation. So you've already ordered and you're waiting for the food.
Yeah,
and
it's too late to leave. You cannot leave because the food is on its way.
And I love the idea that it gives the impression that you've been rehearsing this at home beforehand and you really haven't been listening until this moment because you've just been mentally preparing to do the thing that you're about to do. Like this entire time while you've been making small talk and maybe good small talk.
When
you haven't actually been listening.
When you asked if they found the place okay, when you asked what they were going to order a second before the waiter comes. So you're like, well, we got to stretch out this conversation. Then you say, I was looking at that too. That looks good.
Yeah.
Whatever they say for their chicken salad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Or you could do, check this shit out. Then you kind of just take your shirt, pull it up over your head. 30 seconds.
I thought you were going to say, check this shit out, and then play your stomach like a bongo.
Because it also gives you a conversation for the rest of the meal. And it gives them a conversation for the rest of the day.
Arguably the rest of their lives.
Yeah. They'd be like, no, you're not going to believe what happened when I went to go meet my future son-in-law.
Okay, here's another one. What do you do with your hands when you're singing karaoke? Because you know that this happens. You know that this happens. You pick the song. You're all hyped up to sing You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette. Mm-hmm. You're ready to do it. You've practiced. You know all the words. And then you get up there in front of everyone. And you're like, what? My voice is not going to carry this song alone. How do I sell this? What do I do with my hands?
And you can't clutch the microphone with both hands because you look like a fourth grader about to do a solo in Silent Night.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to buy him a microphone, and then it's like, we're speaking into a microphone. I can do.
I do like that you did object work with your hands, like there was an imaginary microphone. Yeah, we have microphone.
I guess I'm just a natural improviser. I haven't done it in 2 years. That's a really good one. What I do kind of, my gut instinct here is all of a sudden you start waving your hand above your head, not on beat, not on the chorus, not on the part anybody knows.
Got it.
Like you immediately are trying to get crowd work.
Got it. You immediately want a stimulus response from the audience.
But we can, that's up for discussion. That was just my first thought.
Yeah. So I think it's important to know whether there's a mic stand or not. Because on the one hand, the mic stand makes it harder because then you have two hands you have to deal with. But on the other hand, there's fun stuff you can do with like dipping the mic stand and having one hand on the like boom of it and one not. Also, it gives you a moment in the song to rip the mic off of the mic stand and in the like when it modulates. I
think there's something fun about taking the mic stand and using your body to flirt with a mic stand. You know what I mean? Like you keep lightly touching the mic stand, like you're touching the mic stand's back. Yeah. You start rubbing it as if you're like, touching their arm.
That's what people are going to take away from that.
I'm very PG as a person.
Yeah, just, seducing the mic stand.
Yes, but early stages.
Sure.
That's really fun. Yeah, I think a mic stand is definitely going to be a benefit. Another thing you can do is from the very beginning of the song. Very beginning. You ought to know we're not in the chorus still.
Yeah.
The beat is just starting. You immediately pick a person in the audience who you do not know. And you point at them. The entire song. You don't waver. You look around. One hand on the microphone, the other constantly pointing at this stranger. Don't eye contact. Don't make it about them. No one is going to know what's going on. They're not going to know if you're trying to be like, this person ought to know, if you know this person, if you're trying to tell this person to be quiet. And I kind of like that confusion.
The commitment to because it goes from why are they doing this to they're intentionally doing this to how are they still doing this?
2.5 minutes, your arm is shaking from being up. But I have to make it clear, if you pick someone to point at, you cannot sing the song to them. Like, you cannot be looking at them in the eye the whole time. The point needs to be to the side. You're still working the room.
You're still working the room, but you're like, you, I don't know.
It's because it really has the vibe to me that that's your ex. And you went up there expecting to sing a song to your ex, whether it was an FU song or a like a love song, winning him back, whatever. And then you got up there, you got the mic, the beat started, and you chickened out.
Yeah.
So it feels like you are trying to win that person back, but you're too shy to look at them.
I also like the idea of if you were that person being pointed at.
Yeah.
Like if that were me.
Yeah.
I would immediately have the thought that the person who's singing set this entire thing up and everyone in this karaoke bar knows them and I did something, but I don't know this person.
Yes.
Like the whole thing is like a flash mob Truman Show kind of situation.
Yes. But that's why it's important they don't look at you, because then you can't tell if it's in anger, if it's in romance. And 2.5 minutes is so long.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, most pop songs are about 3 minutes long.
Yeah. And if that person you're pointing at walks away, you follow them. You keep pointing.
Yeah, they kind of move to the left and then to the right, and you're like your hand moves with them.
I really think that would be more unsettling than somebody staring at you singing.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's like someone's.
Oh, go ahead.
No, please. It was your.
I was gonna say, if someone's staring at you singing, you can assume they think you're hot. Like, you can work that in your mind. It can go through the little knobs and the little cogs of your brain and be like, they're attracted to me. They can't look away. But if they're just pointing and they're not looking, it's way harder to place that.
Yeah, well, because it's weird because it's intentional but indirect.
Yeah.
And so it's this weird, like, they're doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
Why? Why? God, why?
They're not looking at you, so you're not 100% sure that they have the right person.
Yeah. It's a mystery that will never be solved, but you know that you're a part of it.
Yeah. And that's kind of a lesson. We're all part of this crazy thing called life.
I think that's going to do it for us.
Lots of other doodles. We're not going to get to them.
Thank you, as always, for listening for another week. It's time for our signature weekly segment, Earnest Moment of the Week.
Matwa.
Thank you to everyone who sent in matwas. We have a bunch this week.
We have so many.
And here's the thing. We're not going to do all of them right now because we do need to bank them. But if you have one, please send them. We'll send you information on that in a moment. But Paula, do you have any matwa you'd like to share?
I do. I would love to read it. All right. This one comes from Sarah. And Sarah says, today, a guy walked into the store I work at and after a minute or two of browsing, told me that his friends had dared him to arm wrestle a stranger and asked if I would be willing to do it. Confused but intrigued, I reluctantly agreed. I know this is not so kosher in COVID times, but we both had hand sanitized and were masked with a counter between us. I expected to lose, but surprisingly went into beast mode and squarely beat him. He then called for a rematch with the left hand, which I obliged, and then soundly beat him again. We both kind of awkwardly laughed, and then he waved and walked out. I was left glowing with what the Spice Girls might describe as girl power, also confusion. That is so much to unpack. I'm so happy Sarah won twice. I'm so happy that Sarah won right hand, left hand. Was like, no big deal. I can do it with both.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I love that she's the kind of person that he was like, my friends dared me to arm wrestle. And she was like, hell yeah, giddy up.
Yeah.
Like, that is such a cool energy.
Let's go, cowboy.
Let's go, cowboy. I will beat you twice.
Yeah.
Wow, that is such a weird thing for him and his friends to be doing.
Also, like,
Were the friends watching?
I don't know.
Weirder if they weren't. And if they weren't, he's going to go back and say, yeah, I won easy. I hope they were watching.
Yeah, I hope they were watching like through the window pane, like it's like a movie where they're just like they've got their faces pressed to the glass, and then there's the reaction of like when he loses. I also like the like
and
cordial,
now she's friends with them. They
exactly. I like the cordial, like you did it twice and you're like, all right, well that was it. Goodbye.
See you later.
That's awesome.
So good. That is such a weird group of friends, and I do love it.
I have an imatwa from Elise, and this is the Elise that we talked about last week who got gifted an imatwa or a shout out.
Yay! Hi, Elise.
We got a whole narrative going.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Welcome. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yeah. So Elise says, I moved recently after buying my first house.
Whoa!
Congratulations.
That's cool.
And as I was moving things out of my apartment, the grandma of a family who lives on my floor caught me in the hallway and seemed concerned about me moving all of my things. She does not speak English, and I do not speak her language, so she went and got her granddaughter to translate, and I was able to tell her I was moving. She said she was so sad to hear it because I was very nice, and she had always enjoyed when we would wave to each other in the hallway.
Oh, my heart.
It was so sweet. I, in turn, could tell her I was sad to leave them as they had been lovely neighbors. It was a very bittersweet, unexpected moment of moving and a really nice, earnest moment. She and her granddaughter were adamant that I come back and visit, so I'll be making some cookies this weekend to take over to them.
Oh, my God. That is so sweet. Also, that is like so earnest because it is such a good reminder that sometimes like there's these people that care about us that like we don't even know that they care about us. Like that like wave that you do to your neighbor like means something to them.
Yeah, well, because
now I'm full on tearing up.
Yeah, Paula is actually tearing up. She's not just saying it. She's like wiping her eyes right now. Yeah, it's that like in COVID, our worlds have become so much smaller and it's so much more insulated, insular, whichever word is right there. That like the people who like I didn't know my neighbors before COVID, and now I know all of them, not necessarily by name, but at least like enough to be like they live in my building.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just so sweet. Also, like we love a multi-language translation.
That's really adorable. And making cookies for them is so sweet. Stay in touch with them. Tell them we love them.
If you have an earnest moment that happened to you this past week, or honestly anytime, you can send that to us at beingearnestpod on all of our social media, or email us at beingearnestpod@gmail.com.
Thank you, as always, to Ryan Cruz for our beautiful logo. You can follow her on Instagram at @RBCruiser. And for Dylan Dutch for our beautiful theme song. You can follow his new music project, Death Love, that is available wherever you listen to music. And I've said it before, some of my top played songs of the year were by Death Love. I think you will love Dylan's music.
Just a reminder that if you're in Chicago, you can get No Wrong Answers while supplies last at Four-Sided. Four-Sided is so cool. It's the best kind of art gift shop in Chicago.
Like, literally 90% of my apartment is from Four-Sided. I love that place.
Yeah, go pick yourself up a butter ornament and No Wrong Answers.
Oh, the perfect combination.
It's a great thing for your, as the days get colder and
get longer, baby.
Yeah, exactly. And you need to make polite conversation.
Also, if you are not in Chicago and you would like No Wrong Answers, or perhaps you were playing it with people and they were like, we want this game. If you go to nowronganswersgame.com, link in our bio on all social media. So simple, so easy. You can add your name to the wait list. We're going to do another printing probably within the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
Assuming. So we're doing a printing very soon. Get on the wait list. We'll email you about it. Keep your eyes out for that.
Yep. Just helps us plan and you'll be the first to know.
Mm-hmm. Also, oh my God, so many plugs. Also, the Best of Chicago reader nominations are up for Best of Chicago 2020. We want to give a shout out to some of our wonderful best pals that are nominated in the best podcast category. Deanna Ortiz, who hosts Crushes, and Ryan Burkett and Chris Coffin, who host the Music Video Podcast. Look at me being so casual. Listen to them. You will love their podcast. I love their podcast. I laugh out loud. You listen to them, follow them. They're our wonderful friends.
And go vote for them.
Create 2 emails so you can vote for them.
Yeah, exactly. Also, a quick shout out to Paula. You got a nomination as well for
Best Chicagoan. Just kidding.
For Best Instagram account, right?
Yeah. My Instagram account, Paula Eats Lean Cuisines, where I review lean cuisines in a goofy way. Also, it's not just lean cuisines, frozen meal. It's like calling a tissue a Kleenex. Doesn't matter. I have an Instagram account where I do goofy reviews of frozen meals, and we're nominated for Best in Chicago, which is really sweet.
So all you Ernies and Berts, go out there and support Paula. You do not have to live in Chicago to vote.
That's true.
And until next week, just remember, check this shit out. Hey ho, the Weatherman come.
Thank you, everybody.
Why not be Ernie?